See what Ryan Clark will apologize during this hour, because he's apologizing for a lot of other
Ryan Clark is an insecure, overly offended, and it's biting him repeatedly.
Like, I don't care what Ryan Clark has to say.
I just think it does tell us more about Ryan Clark than it does Peter Schrager. I don't see the contingent of huge Ryan Clark supporters and fans. Yeah. I don't even know what they're arguing about.
Yeah, should we just go ahead and start writing apologies for Ryan Clark now on social media?
We should,
before he gets fired.
That's a lucrative job if you can get it. Apology writer, apology speech writer for Ryan Clark on social media.
Or his...
To my ESPN family, I'd like to take a moment to apologize for my behavior on air earlier.
Another lucrative job would be his tailor. Just all of the different.
What if you could combine both professions, Hutton? You could be both a tailor and you could be the apology writer for Ryan Clark. That would pay well.
Yeah, it's called ChatGPT.
Yes, it is. AI.
Yeah, that's
AI does
exactly
both.
what it is. Yeah, so the latest one, because Clark, you probably accidentally, which one are you talking about? Well, it's the one from this weekend where he got into it with Peter Schrager, who's new to ESPN, and says that, well, how dare you talk about the NFL, you non-athletic reporter.
Of course, right? Like that's what I get it. But the thing is this though, and we shouldn't do this on TV. And so I apologize if people think this is rude. That's the non-player.
Oh, stop! CeeDee Lamb is.
Let me tell you why. I'm not looking at fantasy football,
Ryan. I'm not. Don't belittle me like that. I could come in and say, as 3 ex-players are saying one thing, and give an alternative perspective that maybe CeeDee Lamb did play well. And
Peter, what I need for you to do is not get mad and let me finish for one.
Okay, go on.
It wasn't about you. It was going to be about me.
Okay.
It wasn't about you. It was going to be about me.
But let me apologize ahead of time because it's going to be about me.
Hutton, that it's going to be a bad statement when you start by pausing and saying, I shouldn't do this on air, but you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it. This is the non-player in you to Peter Schrager.
Yeah.
Look, Ryan Clark is ridiculous in so many different ways. Peter Schrager is very well respected. This is 2 non-former pro athletes talking, guys who grew up playing sports and being around it our whole life, but we didn't coach at the highest level. We didn't play at the highest level. No. But that does not preclude us from having an opinion on the sports that we cover and that we follow and that we've been around for so long. So I don't take offense to it. This is not something I watch and I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to stick up for the non-players all over the world and get real mad about it. I just think it does tell us more about Ryan Clark than it does Peter Schrager. Ryan Clark is an insecure, overly offended, I'm going to get mad at the strangest things and take it as some personal attack towards me, and I'm going to go over the top in my response. I'm going to say dumb shit on the show, even if it doesn't make any sense in the context of what we're discussing right now, and it's biting him repeatedly. I'll also say this. I know there's a front office sports report out that he's on thin ice with ESPN and all this. It's good for engagement farming. I mean, if you're looking for engagement, we're talking about it. Everybody's talking about this incident.
Exactly.
And it's brought up a larger discussion about reporters or people who cover and talk about sports that didn't play versus those that did play. It's also the laziest comeback for someone. Well, I played the game and you didn't. Okay. Like, you have to say that before everything. You have to start every argument with, well, I was a player, or I played, or this is not you. There are ways, Hutton, I think, to have this conversation. This isn't the time when they're talking about CeeDee Lamb's drops. But, if you're coming at something from a non-competitive standpoint, and I've talked to a lot of people like this that I had the same thought about. I'm thinking, did you ever play anything, or have you ever been passionate about winning in anything? Because some people sound like they've never been around competition,
right,
and how they respond to competition. And I do think that there is a fair argument to be had. If Ryan Clark wanted to critique Peter Schrager in some way about how he views competition, you can do it in a way without starting with, that's the non-player in you, which comes across as petty and ridiculous.
Speaking of DBAP, which is what you're saying, is like, if you wanted to criticize this or that, hey, just call him out for it, right?
Right.
Instead, he apologizes, and this is where it's don't be a pussy. The last sentence of this apology, which is just total bullshit. My focus will remain on professionalism, teamwork, and being a better teammate moving forward. Copy and paste that to every apology for Ryan Clark. Here's Clay's response to it as well. who certainly echoes what we're saying here. It's just that the comments are amazing. Yeah, they are on social with the response to it. Yeah, the
as
whole,
is
I played, you didn't.
As is dropping a public apology in the middle of live tweeting Chiefs Chargers. Hell of a game by Justin Herbert, by the way. Ryan Clark has managed to be hated by everyone and loved by no one. That's tough to do talking about sports.
Well, see, I don't hate Ryan Clark. I just don't care. Like, I don't care what Ryan Clark has to say.
Yeah, does he?
Right? I don't hate him.
Right. It would be interesting to see, like, does he have, like, vehement supporters? People that are like, oh, my gosh, you shouldn't apologize, and you're right. Peter Schrager is a non-player, and you were – I don't see a lot of defensive Ryan Clark, I guess, is what Clay's getting at.
Right.
And I do understand that. Like, he doesn't have fans, it feels like, right? I don't see the contingent of huge Ryan Clark supporters and fans.
So we just need a bunch of former players on set defending players that are in the league because they won't talk crap about them, right? Like, is that what Ryan Clark wants? Or so he can take up for the guys he likes versus the guys he doesn't, or you see what I'm saying?
Well,
like, that's also not it.
Peter Schrager also handled it well, and he's like, "Oh, come on! There are 3 former players here on set. I can come in and disagree with all the former players on something I disagree with you about.
Sure.
Like, let's not demean it that's not a possibility.
Yeah,
and that people can decide for themselves what they think about it.
This is the non-player in you.
Yeah, this is the non-player in you. We should turn that into a T-shirt.
Yeah,
this is the non-player in you. To anyone who has,
we need to send him one of these shirts, the DBAP shirt.
Yeah, it's kind of a DBAP, right? I mean, he's basically saying DBAP, but also, I think Peter Schrager was the one that was DBAPing in his opinion, and then Ryan Clark was coming in.
I mean, an opinion on which wide receiver's better,
or CeeDee Lamb drop passes, like how much that played into it. Here's what's incredible about this whole thing.
An apology over that.
I don't even know what they're arguing about. We're all now about it's so stupid of Ryan Clark to say this, which we all agree with, especially on camera. When you have to start with, I shouldn't say this on camera, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. If you get Mike Greenberg, ultimate team player, doing this, he was doing this during they cutaway camera caught him saying this to Ryan Clark, like, stop it, about non-player BS. Man,
trying to protect him.
It's not good. Yeah, he's probably trying to get him. Do you want to get fired?
Yeah.
Because this is a good way to do it.
I thought you wanted to be a good teammate.
Right. Well, apparently, according to Front Office Sports, ESPN, Burke Magnuson loves Peter Schrager. Like, this was one of his, like, white whales to go out and hire. So this is a bad move by Ryan Clark trying to demean him because they're very excited about the acquisition of Schrager, who they are putting on everything. Get Up, NFL Live, Countdown. He's been a big part of ESPN's plans with NFL.
I'm thinking about this, too. Can we put the apology back up? The last sentence, I need to point this out too, because Chad, you and I have been in a situation where they're in the building. We need to be good team players, and everyone's on the same team.
Yeah.
That's also DBAP. This is also going against you don't know how to compete. So if he's being told to put this Ryan Clark and how he acts isn't about this last sentence. This is not him. So if he's being told to do that, that's also the culture within it, where it's just like there's also some soft mentalities on the other end of it, right?
Agreed.
If you can't put up with that's the non-player in you. If it goes off the air, because that's what he's saying happened. I don't know what happened behind. We know what happened behind the mic, but not behind the scenes. So if it's like put in there that you're going to be professional and you're going to be a team player because we're all one big team, it's not all kumbaya.
Well,
have some thick skin. If that's what this is. If it's over CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown and which one had a worse week.
And Hutton, I think there's a balance to it, right? Like, ridiculous to argue over these things the way they did and take it this personally. But also, like, I want somebody with a little bit of Ryan Clark's spirit.
I know, yeah.
Of I'm going to confront someone if I think they're really wrong about something, right?
Right, but not the RG3 style.
We've worked at places and been places, and we've seen this. Like, the biggest selling point for an employee is that they're a great team player.
Yeah, right.
A great teammate. And I'm thinking, if that's your number
they
one
just really
thing,
get along with everybody.
Like, if your number one priority in your employees is that they don't do a good job, but that they're really nice to everybody, and they build everyone up, like, I don't know that that's the best employee either.
And that means they're lazy.
There's a balance.
I tend to think that's lazy.
There's a time to challenge. There's a time to not air dirty laundry on air, obviously.
Sure.
But there's got to be a balance that I think we're looking at two different extremes. Like the second extreme is that last sentence you're talking about of what Ryan Clark said on air versus what he said in that apology was written by one of his bosses at ESPN.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, as two people have been forced to apologize before.
Yes.
What we're saying is we will
never do it again. We will never be forced to apologize.
I will never, ever do it
ever.
Again. Yep. I will resign before being forced to apologize for something I don't want to apologize about.
Listen, you're going to sign this. We're going to add this addendum to your contract where you're going to be a good teammate and a team player. No. That's what that looked like. Also, the response on social epic. This is basically what Ryan Clark is saying. Mina, you never played, so you might want to sit this one out when it comes to her opinion on football.
Never going to happen.
No.
By the way, where was Mina Kimes? Did she take up for her colleague Peter Schrager in this as a non-player? This feels like the perfect thing for her to get involved in. I don't want to pick people's causes for them. You know, I get mad when people are like, why are you not tweeting about this now? Because you said this and now you're not saying anything about it. I'm like, I will post about whatever the hell I want to post about. Mina Kimes is entitled to also. But Hutton, this feels like a cause that she should take up. Defending the journalism and actual reporters out there against the attacks of former players.
Oh, like whenever he went after RG3 and his wife.
Yeah.
Remember? Here's Braden, I think is how you say his name on social. I disagree with Clark. I don't want to disagree because live TV, you might insult my wife and I might have to put him in a stretcher. So there you go.
That's true.
What?
Mina Kimes, also in a mixed race marriage, should have defended RG3 when Ryan Clark attacked RG3's Caucasian wife, right? There are other chances for her to go after Ryan Clark. I guess she's just a really good teammate.
Just really good.
Great teammate.
Right.
Great teammate. That's what they're always going to say.
Or just always agrees with Ryan, you know, like, except for that one instance. Who knows? Chad, I'm guessing, do you think Ryan Clark likes Aaron Rodgers?
Hell no.
Well, he's playing for his former team. That's why I asked.
No, I think he roots against him.
Even with the Steelers?
Outwardly, yeah. He's rooting against his anti-vax ass.
It really puts him in a spot, though, because the Pittsburgh Steelers are pretty good.
They look pretty good.
With Aaron Rodgers yesterday.
Pretty good.
Not bad for the old man.
Not bad at all. 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Hutton, I was so excited. Dare say jacked up for the start of the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, right? I was all jacked up. And he tears his Achilles on the first drive 2 years ago, right? Comes back, clearly still showing signs from the Achilles injury. Not a good year for the New York Jets. Things fall apart. He's forced to fly across the country to have a meeting with Aaron Glenn, and he is summarily dismissed upon entering the room, which I agree with Aaron Rodgers on this. For a guy that's put in the work he has in the league and has his reputation as one of the greatest of all time, like, could have been done in a text or a phone call, right? We could have had a Zoom meeting about this. I thought I was going to serve my time and meet the new coach and see if there's a future here. And instead it's, well, thanks for flying out here, Aaron, but GTFO, you're no longer a New York Jet. So Aaron Rodgers takes that motivation, that fuel, puts it in the tank, comes out, and he looks awesome. And the Steelers offense looks awesome with Arthur Smith and Aaron Rodgers in week one in beating the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers says, happy to beat everyone in that organization. This has me pumped up. This has me excited that maybe we get one last ride with the greatest quarterback in NFL history, anti-vax division with Aaron Rodgers. Because if it is, Hutton, I am riding with the Steelers, and I love this guy and how he plays. I've been a huge Aaron Rodgers fan his entire career, and I hope that he gets one last moment in the sun and does something with the Steelers. What is doing what, one might ask? Like, just be relevant. Be in the playoff mix. Get to the playoffs. Have a good offense. Because, my goodness, that defense was not good yesterday for the Steelers. It was the offense that carried the Pittsburgh Steelers in that game, short of that Jalen Ramsey hit on fourth down, which was a work of art
and the what
to
hit
jar the ball
Fields.
loose. Holy cow, that was amazing.
Destroyed him.
Hutton, I'm all in on this Aaron Rodgers story. And I hope that he continues to put up numbers like this. Now, I will say, he looks like a 41-year-old man that had an Achilles injury.
He does.
When he's trying to get out of pressure.
He looked 41 last year when he was 40.
He took, 5 sacks or 4 sacks in this game?
Well,
a lot of the big plays, 8 for 10 on play action. Like, there's some smoke and mirrors with this performance. And I think that's going to be consistent with the Steelers. They're going to have to do that with smoke and mirrors with him. But for one day, what a glorious day for Aaron Rodgers to have that press conference and be able to tell off the New York Jets.
Yeah, man. And, hey, I thought it was a glorious week one. You know, it like last year, week one, remember how the scoring was down? It was just like a lot of just bad football.
Defenses are way ahead of the offenses early in the year.
I thought it was much better this year. Now, I will say.
That's just the non-player and you're talking about.
That's the non-player, yeah.
Sorry, we should preface everything by saying this is the non-player and us talking.
That's the non-defensive player in me, right?
The non-player in you doesn't like
you don't understand defense.
When offenses look terrible on television. That's just the non-player talking.
In defense of the defense,
yes.
You get one first down now with these new kickoff rules, and you're in field goal range on that NFL field. That's crazy. You get one first down, and these guys are hitting like 65-yarders.
Yep.
But week one always leaves us with so much to recap. But also, there's still so much that we haven't seen. Like, we want to see more. And it's not nearly enough to judge improvement or the playoff caliber of a team. There's a long way to go. War of attrition with injuries, all of it. But I do think there are fair questions and opinions to be cast out of what we saw from the first week of the National Football League 2025. Buffalo and Baltimore, what a game. What a comeback, but also just what a game. Both of those teams are at the top of their conference, at the top of the league, right there with Philadelphia. I think it's those three teams. Eagles are lethal. They're not playing their best. They weren't last year either. And then you look at their lineup, and they're going to put it all together again. Green Bay, title contender. Legit. Detroit, meanwhile, they lose both of their coordinators, and I think it shows. Right? The team I think I was expecting to see, I didn't see that team. And I wasn't factoring in the loss of both coordinators in that instance. Same for Kansas City, not with the coordinators, but just like, Mahomes will get it done. Mahomes will get it done, but done enough to get to the playoffs. I don't think done to get the division this year. It was already an aging team, and it just looks like it's going to be the downward spiral in 2025 for them. Beyond that, Chad, some teams that are going to be the soap opera in this month. Miami.
Ooh.
With Tyreek Hill on the bench. You've got Malik Neighbors going after coaching for the Giants. That's the saga in the month of September, and where we get to see, all right, week two, if week one's a liar, week two is really where we get to see what's the truth in all of this. We'll see how teams turn around. Bucks, Commanders, I like both of those teams. Chad, some bad teams, but I thought a lot of good football overall. I was impressed, and I was expecting to see defense win the day. Saw some good defensive plays, but I saw the top tier, the top quarterback showed up and delivered. And especially Sunday night. That was phenomenal.
And I'm hoping for a great one with the Vikings and Bears tonight too, because if you look at the bookend of those national games, mostly terrific.
Yep.
So Thursday night, really good. A lot of drama in that one, minus the weather delay. Friday night, good competitive game down in Brazil. Between the Chiefs and the Chargers. Sunday early window, at least the game that I was watching here locally in Nashville, Steelers and Jets, incredible throughout. Could not look away in that one, and it goes right down to the wire. Packers over Lions. Thought we were going to get a better game in that one. Packers look dominant. Lions look like they have big issues offensively, but as you said, Hut, maybe week one is a liar. And then the Sunday night football game capped it all off beautifully. If we get another great national game tonight, Vikes and Bears, that's going to be a great first weekend of NFL action.
Cincinnati, I would still be concerned.
Yeah, their
7 yards in the second half.
Did not look good.
And
they're two missed field goals from Cleveland away. The Browns should have won that game.
Yes.
And they were better. And Cincinnati's big issue, starting slow to start the season, and they really get lucky in week one to beat the Browns.
And then the Tennessee Titans put up 30 yards in the final 30 minutes of play. With a head coach that's got a rookie quarterback on the road on a silent count at Mile High against a Denver team that turned it over 4 times. And before half, he's throwing from his own 1.5-yard line instead of running the football, getting to the half with a halftime lead. And instead gives up points for Denver. What's Brian Callahan doing? He's getting himself fired. And he's doing it sooner rather than later, Chad. And I say that because keep this up, he's going to have his play calling duty stripped from him because he's an idiot with a rookie quarterback in that setting with that offense. They threw the ball. Chad, there were 21 of 23 plays on second or third down with 8 or more yards to go. They're always behind the chains, man. And they threw the ball 21 of 23 times for an average of 2.5 yards.
Well,
2.5 yards.
Hunt, as you know, I don't want to be an extremist or an alarmist in all this, but
go ahead.
I don't know that they're going to play a team that plays worse than the Broncos did yesterday. I mean, they handed them that game.
May not.
The 4 turnovers, like, you're not going to find many weeks where the opposition is that brutally bad, and they still lost by 8 points to Denver yesterday in that game. 0-17 is in play. If Brian Callahan is the coach all year and he's calling plays all year, 0-17 is in play for this Titans team. I thought Cam Ward showed some flashes of some nice throws. I don't think he's got a chance.
No.
With that play calling, that offensive line, with a coach that if you just take 3 knees and get to the half, you got the lead, hand it off, is trying to force the issue. A coach that is trying to explain what a catch and a non-catch is and can't do it. Doesn't know the rule. Saying that he needed something other than the elbow down in bounds when he did not, and that's why he didn't challenge it.
His coaching performance was awful in week 1. His post-game presser was worse.
It was bad. And look, there are plenty of Nepo baby situations across sports. This is not the Kyle Shanahan type of Nepo baby that actually worked out. This looks like a Nepo baby that I don't know what the hell's going on. And quite frankly, when you start to take a look at his dad's resume, I don't know that his dad's done terribly much in his career either.
Well, he's a Hall of Fame offensive line coach.
Well, that Hall of Fame offensive line coach is not coaching this offensive line well at all.
Well, this line far better though. They didn't give up a sack on the first 5 possessions.
It was still bad.
And then they had the right tackle get hurt. And
my point is, I don't know that Bill Callahan was good enough as a head coach, certainly, to have a son as a Nepo baby that's getting this many chances as a head coach in the NFL.
Yeah, well, he's on game 18.
Yeah, I don't know that he should get game 20. If game 19 looks like game 18 did.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good. And, not good for Cam Ward. Although, despite all that, they had the ball with a chance to go tie the game. And how does Vegas know? The spread it closed at 8.5.
8.5.
8.5, man.
Yeah. I had a nice little parlay cooking. And that was the only one. You're going to laugh, though. That's the only one I hit. I had Titans plus 8.5, and they lost by 8.
I thought you would have lost that by.
No, so here was and we talked about this. I looked at everything that was a touchdown or more, and I took the points. Took the points.
Sure.
In week 1, and I think it was Giants Commanders. Commanders covered easily. So, and then the other one was Saints Cardinals, and the Cardinals barely covered. Close, so one of 3 I hit, and it was actually the Titans.
Yeah.
At plus 8.5.
Hey, so you do like Brian Callahan.
Yeah. Good teams win. Great teams cover.
He didn't take the safety at the end.
Do you think that's what Brian Callahan's saying? Good teams win the game.
Have you looked at my number?
Great teams cover.
Yeah. Have you looked at my number?
Guess what we did in that game? We didn't win the football game, but we covered the spread.
You know who is also going to be saying that is Billy Napier.
Yeah.
We discussed that with Trey Wallace and what's happening in Gainesville today. That's next.
This fall, you're not just watching the biggest game in college football.
You're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27th, Athens.
OutKick's giving one lucky fan and a guest the VIP treatment.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets, of course.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit OutKick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. OutKick.com/sweepstakes.
This episode brought to you by PricePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PricePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PricePicks, where it's good to be right. We got some picks correct this past weekend.
We did.
We've certainly made our mark on the season projections as well as the weekly projections. PricePicks also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 or more states, including California, Texas, Georgia, PricePicks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. PricePicks. Chad, there's Venmo, Apple Pay. Chad has the new iPhone, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more. It's quick and easy with your deposits. Your account is ready to go this football season. And injury reboots, which I love. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, PricePicks won't count it as a loss. It's the best way to win cash this football season. So make your picks in less than 60 seconds and check out PricePicks. So we've got our season projections and much more. And you can do that with the code Hot Mic, downloading the app today, Chad. $50 in lineups. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Hot Mic, HOTMIC. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PricePicks, it's good to be right.
And I've unlocked at least 4 new ways to put in money on PricePicks with this phone upgrade. This one phone upgrade, 4 new ways technologically that I can make payments to things.
Yes, and we certainly should be paying Trey Wallace. To join us. Actually,
OutKick pays.
I know, but we should be. He does great work with us.
You're saying we should put him on our personal payroll, our show payroll? I agree with that.
We should pay him for his time. He's been waiting on us.
Yeah, that's right. He has been waiting.
Trey,
so
good to see you, man.
Confused. Like, the new phone unlocks new advantages to pay people. Did you just figure out what Venmo is?
Well,
Dell.
My wife does all the Venmo transactions. Like there are certain things that I like to stay ignorant about so I don't have to do them. So, for softball purposes, I'm like, hey, did you Venmo the tournament director? Okay, good. I'm glad you took care of that.
That's very smart.
Because I got a lot of other things to worry about, and I don't want to add things to my plate. So, by acting like I don't know how to do them, Trey, what it does is it subtracts those things from my plate, and it's really worked out for me my entire life.
But the phone upgrade now doesn't leave him the excuse of not knowing how to do it. Because the phone,
I do have a Venmo account somewhere. I don't know where it is. But Apple Pay, I know how to do it now because of this new Apple iPhone. Yeah.
I'm just happy you upgraded, my brother. Welcome to the times, my man. It's good to have you, bud.
It's good to have you on with us, Trey. Not good times in Gainesville. Hutton and I have argued it's never a good time in Gainesville because it's a terrible college town. But nonetheless, losing to USF, someone perceived as a little brother for sure to Florida, and the way in which they lost, where you get a spitting incident on the final drive up a point after what we watched on Thursday night. We said it a year ago at this time, too, about Billy Napier, and he rose from the ashes and had a great finish this season. It could certainly happen again, Trey, but we're seeing a lot of the same problems in year 4 now under Napier. What is the current state of things with the Gators program?
Yeah, it's a mess. I mean, in talking with boosters and folks, around the athletic department on Sunday, I got a bunch of text messages after the loss. Like the fact that we're sitting here in the same spot, Chad, that we were. I remember having this conversation with you last year after they lost a week 2 game, and so here we are once again. Billy Napier is the talk. And the other big thing that stood out to me is who you're losing to. I know South Florida wrecked Boise State in the first game, but there's a reason why you were a 19-point favorite in this one against USF and Alex Golesh. So you lose, and you lose in dramatic fashion. You lose with 1 penalty, and then you got a player that spits on a USF player, gives them 15 more yards, and then all of a sudden USF is driving down the field and they can line up for a game-winning field goal, and none of it made sense. I mean, even the time consumption and what they were doing with DJ Lagway, this offense just looks terrible. And I was telling folks, don't take things away from a win over Long Island. Like, you didn't do anything. You got to go play somebody. And so you get an opponent like USF that can bring it in the trenches. They got a fast-paced offense. Byron Brown is a good quarterback, and you find yourself now up against the wall. The problem is, Chad, I don't see a way out for Billy Napier. I mean, you look at the schedule, brother. They play at LSU this weekend. They got to go to Miami. They got to play Texas at home. You got to go to Texas A&M. Then, by the way, Mississippi State comes to town, and then you play Georgia. Like, where are you going to find your wins here? Like, you're going to have to, DJ Lagway is going to have to turn into a superstar. And by the way, there's something going on with DJ Lagway. He's not running the ball, whether that's his hamstring, even throwing the ball downfield long, whether it's shoulder issues. It's a mess. And the other thing, the situation, the biggest one of all is Scott Strickland, the athletic director at Florida, signed an extension last week, 5 years. So he's got carte blanche. He's going to make a move. We're not going to sit around until, November to make a decision on what Billy Napier and what's his future look like at Florida. I think if Florida goes out and loses these next 2 games, I think Florida's going to pull the trigger, and Billy Napier will be gone. You can't have that around, not in this era. And who would have thought, man, we were back in this spot 2 weeks ago. We were talking about Florida and CFP berths and maybe contending for an SEC title if a couple teams lose. And now everybody's chanting "Fire Billy" all through the concourse, out through the swamp after the game. And it's just, what an embarrassment this has turned into. And once again, we're talking about Florida and Billy Napier after week 2.
Hutton often says it's not if you lose, it's how you lose. And this to me is an example of that. You mentioned it, 17.5-point favorites at home. You're playing USF and Alex Golish, who has that Josh Heupel background, up-tempo, fast-paced, lots of points. They lose 18-16 to that team. Right?
Six yards per pass attempt.
With a five-star quarterback and a head coach that's an OC in his background. Not the OC now, but this is an offensive-minded head coach. And I have to look at that when thinking about a program and where they should be in year 4. It would not have been good, but if you lose 48-46 to USF that's snapping the ball every 2 seconds, it's like, okay, well, we still know that we got a great offense and a great quarterback, but losing 18-16 to that team, and I've got USF in the college football playoff. I think they're a good team in the American. This is the SEC.
Yeah.
That's not good, right, Trey?
No, I like how you threw out the American at the end of that. No, this is an embarrassment, man. And this is where we're at with Florida football. We're having to second guess every single thing and every single weekend and who we were playing. I knew that the schedule was going to be a gauntlet down here, and I get that part. But when you really break it down, this is year 4 for Billy Napier. It's not year 2. It's not year 3. Everybody had this expectation coming off that win streak that they had last season to end the year. And sure, they looked nice at times. They beat Ole Miss at home. Congratulations. You can't hang your hat on that anymore. And then you come out and fans are expecting, okay, let's go beat USF. And then, by the way, we're going to go to Baton Rouge and give them a fun game at night. And all the pregame shows are going to be there. Nope, that didn't happen. You lose the game. Pregame shows now going to Knoxville. And LSU loses out on the good jazz of having a top 10, top 15 matchup. Like, this is just getting old. And you got folks in the Bull Gator Association, which, by the way, for everybody out there, it's pretty much like the Booster Association. For folks, they make a lot of decisions, the financial ones, but they're not happy. And once again, they're sitting here having to answer questions about Billy Napier and what our future looks like as a college football program. We've gotten to a point now, especially in this new era of college athletics, you're not sitting around and waiting. They're not going to sit around and wait till Halloween to make a decision on Napier. It would come in due time if they don't look good. And this just doesn't look like a team that's disciplined. Like, I would get, Chad, in the first year, maybe the second year, you're a little undisciplined. You're trying to filter out some folks, trying to get your prerogative and how you want to run your program. This is the 4th year. We got players spitting on opponents in the 4th quarter for a 15-yard penalty. Nothing seems right in Gainesville right now. And I think at the end of the day, once they go through this little stretch right here, Florida's going to have a tough decision to make, because there are going to be coaches that are available that would want to take over that Florida football program. I just don't feel like right now Billy Napier has not shown to me that he can be an SEC head coach, especially at a power school like Florida. And yes, I do keep Florida as a power school because of the financial resources and the history they have.
So he's 1-2 against Kentucky. They'll be going to Lexington this year.
Congrats.
And Mississippi State just beat Arizona State. They have Mississippi State on their schedule. I do think the coach who was on the field, I think it's Alex Golish. I think he's the Gators' next head coach.
There's one that's available, possibly, Trey.
Please tell me you're talking about John Gruden.
No, Alex Golish. You mentioned.
No, I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
John Gruden will be in Arkansas.
Yeah, John Gruden makes a lot of sense for Arkansas, for sure.
Yeah, it does. No, Alex Golish should probably have gone over there into the office and checked out the itinerary, see what kind of furniture he needed to add to what Billy Napier had. Especially when he got back to South Florida, I'd imagine Kalen DeBoer also had a fruit basket waiting for him, appreciating him, taking him out of the national conversation this week. I think that when you look at Alex Golish, guys, hot commodity, and he's going to stay in the South. He's not going to a Big Ten school, nothing along those lines. So I just feel right now, like if you had to look at it, would you go that far down the road? I don't think so. I'd go to Tampa and get your next guy. He can run a program.
Absolutely.
So John Mateer appears to be a problem for the SEC and college football at Oklahoma. We knew the ability to run and pass at Washington State, but now seeing it with everybody getting a chance to see it in prime time against a really good Michigan defense, that opened my eyes to the possibility of what Oklahoma could be this year, Trey.
No, John Mateer might be a Heisman candidate come first weekend in November. The guy looked good, and he's got an offense that can back it up. He's got a defense that can get him out of jams. You saw what they did against Bryce Underwood in Michigan, and it's not just Bryce Underwood. Like, it's what you did against the Michigan defense is what stood out to me the most. He was able to get the ball down the field. He was able to tuck it and run it at the same time if need be. And this was a massive win for Brent Venables. He needed this. There were expectations this season for Oklahoma. I think they lived up to it. I always thought this game was going to be kind of a slobber knocker, get to the fourth quarter type of deal. But when you have a veteran leader like John Mateer, and you know the offense and what they're running, don't forget his OC came down to Oklahoma as well. So I look at where he's at right now, and I think that's going to be a conversation to be had. I do. The middle of October, first week of November, I think he's one of 10 players that's in the conversation for a Heisman Trophy. And when we look at it too, like, this is a big step for the Oklahoma football program. They had to take that step. They needed to win that game on Saturday against a Big Ten opponent, a recent national champion against Michigan. So when we really take that next step and we really look at how this thing's going to go forward, I think right now I would say Oklahoma is going to be right outside the top 4 of the SEC. But Chad and Jonathan, who's to say? Seen how things play out here. Who's to say maybe LSU doesn't catch an L? What's Alabama continue to do? What's Ole Miss? Can Oklahoma be in contention for the potential SEC title game? I'm very curious on that, but I think as we stand here right now, to me, this is going to be a playoff football team if things keep up.
What happened to Oklahoma State and the program that used to be coached by Mike Gundy? 69-3, 1-800 ass whip against Oregon.
The guy that played Tennessee not once but twice to get a raise at Oklahoma State, that had Vols fans foaming at the mouth to hire Gundy, is now losing 69-3 to Oregon.
It's not that he. Okay, it's also the fact that he wanted to run his mouth last week on NIL and whatnot with Oregon, and then you add on to the fact that you go to Eugene. By the way, this game was over with in the first quarter, but you lose 69-3. Guys, Oklahoma State was in contention for a playoff berth in recent years, and now you look at how far this program has fallen. I'm sorry. Like, I can look at Oklahoma State and say, okay, that's a bad football program. Mike Gundy probably needs to go a different way after the season, and they need fresh blood in there. Dude, you go on the road and you lose by 66 points.
Hey,
I'm sorry, like,
Trey, their last 2 FBS games, margin of defeat 118 points.
Wow.
Bring
and
back the mullet, bro.
It feels, I don't want to try to sound too morbid here, guys, but it feels like that program died when Boone Pickens died in 2019. Because in an NIL era now, that was their calling card. That was their saving grace. Was
He's the team owner.
He was going to invest, and he owned that team, and him and Mike Gundy had a great working relationship, and they were able to compete for players, for resources, for facilities, everything. And according to Mike Gundy, that's gone now. That's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, they can't reach him. He's a little bit deep right now in the weeds. But at the same time, I look at what Oklahoma State was and compared to where they are now. And you're right. Like, they had the NIL resources. They could call up T-Boone just like Dan Lanning might call up Phil Knight and say, hey, T-Boone, I need $2 or $3 million over here. Can you help out? That doesn't work anymore. He's not reachable. So you look at the situation, I don't know what the trust looks like and what T-Boone is actually giving to Oklahoma State on a yearly basis, but this thing feels like a rat in Stillwater. And who was going to take the job? And by the way, like, don't give me the whole Mike Gundy is stuck. His son went on social media and wanted to bitch at the folks out there and saying, well, you know what? Mike Gundy brought you Big 12 titles, Fiesta Bowls. He stuck around when other people wanted him. Excuse me. Mike Gundy met with Tennessee twice over the last 10 years and wanted that job. So save me the BS about he stuck around.
I don't know if he wanted it, but he did meet with
He acted like he wanted it.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. He's leveraging contracts here. So, save me with that. I know what he's done for that program, and I think he has been really good for Oklahoma State. But you have to think about, at the end of the day, again, guys, we're in a new era. College football teams are going to run right by you. Is Oklahoma State going to be on board? We'll find out soon.
Hey, final thing for me. Just your early thoughts so far of Tennessee's matchup against Georgia and what we're about to watch.
I'm fascinated to see. I'm glad my plans changed this weekend. I can go 40 miles and not 500 miles to Baton Rouge. This one to me, you look at what Joey Aguilar is getting out of his wide receivers, whether that's Chris Brazil or Mike Matthews, and them being able to run the football. I understand who they played the last 2 weeks. That's not lost on me. But also I look at Georgia and who they have played. I think Tennessee's defense matches up pretty nice with Georgia. I think this is an opportunity for them to get after Gunnar Stockton. I'm not calling a win right now, but I will say, heading into the season, I'd have been like, Georgia probably wins that game by 14 points. Heading into Saturday right now, if they can get things rolling on offense and cause Georgia to play a little bit timid in the secondary, I think this thing turns into a ball game. And so I look at it right now. I think Tennessee has a really good shot of beating Georgia this weekend. And again, I need to see more out of the Bulldogs as well. Like I haven't got a great sample plate yet. So it's going to be a really good game on Saturday, I feel. I'm glad it's at 3:30 in the afternoon. It makes it interesting. Sorry, ESPN, you screwed up. You got LSU in Florida at night and game day's over in Knoxville, but it is what it is. So we're lined up for a fun weekend of football here.
Trey, always great, man. And we will catch up later this week, I'm sure, as we continue the path to Knoxville. What's going to be a great matchup.
Guys, I appreciate you having me. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, man. There he is, Trey Wallace.
Of the Tennessee rivals, Georgia, really the one team, Hutton, that Josh Heupel's had no success against. I mean, none. That is a defense and a system with Kirby Smart that has shut down Tennessee's offense when others have not. And it's a chance. It's a chance to break through this weekend. We'll talk more about it as the week goes on.
There's bad players come through there when I say bad, I mean like great players for Georgia.
It's been a big talent difference between the two for sure.
Yeah.
But it's getting closer now, and you got a home game and an opportunity to give a huge win for the Vols to break that streak.
And we don't. Yeah, like you say, we don't really. I mean, I don't know how good Syracuse is. They win. They beat UConn.
They beat UConn in overtime.
They're running laps,
which I love.
Yeah, Fran Brown
so
gets
old
after
school. Win sprints after an overtime win.
And then Tennessee beats down ETSU. So this is kind of the truth serum. Even again, not if you lose, how you lose. Certainly, I want to see Tennessee compete and win that game because that's the new high water mark, so to speak. But yeah, it's one of these lines of demarcation on the SEC path.
Joey Aguilar has looked like an almost 25-year-old playing quarterback so far. He's very poised.
Yes.
I love the way he competes. I love how in command he looks. We haven't yet seen him get knocked down, right? That's the next test for me is he's going to throw a pick. He's going to make a big mistake. He's going to get hit hard. How does he come back from those things? And can he bring the level of play up in adverse situations? He's going to face some adversity this Saturday against Georgia. We'll see how he responds to it.
Will we see Patriots scouts in attendance at Neyland? There's one place where we won't.
I think they're welcome in Knoxville still.
I think so. That's next here on Hot Mic.
Football's finally back. So's the hard-hitting gridiron action on PricePicks. Download PricePicks and use code OutKick and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit PricePicks.com for restrictions and details.
So a Patriots scout applied for the opportunity to go scout a game at North Carolina. That particular scout attended NC State. So whenever he was denied access, he thought it was because he was a part of the Wolfpack. No.
Turns out that was not the case.
It's because you work for Bob Kraft and Jonathan Kraft. And, well, Bill Belichick didn't want you there. Check out the scouts. It's clear I'm not welcome there at that facility, so they're not welcome in ours. It's pretty simple. That from
tit for tat.
That from old Tar Bill.
Yes. Turnabout is fair play, according to Bill Belichick.
Think about how awkward
You're not
this
coming
is.
to Chapel, Bill. I don't even know they can set foot in the city limits.
Tar Bills. Yeah. So, you've got Mike Vrabel, who's tight with Belichick, who's the head coach of the Patriots. I doubt that has anything to do with it. But you also have Drake Maye, who's the former Carolina quarterback, who's the quarterback for the Patriots. Now he's going to be asked about this. Is he allowed to wear UNC gear while he works out?
Is Jordan Hudson helping assist with this decision-making too?
So,
in terms of the pettiness involved in all of this?
So according to Diana Rossini, it is Vrabel. No, she would know. She talks to Vrabel all the time. Anything that has anything to do with Mike Vrabel,
yeah,
it's straight from Mike Vrabel.
When I see Diana Rossini behind a Mike Vrabel report, I'm like, it's legit.
Yeah. If she reports on the Patriots, or any report on the Titans, if it was from Rossini, it was straight from Mike Vrabel. According to Diana Rossini, as of Saturday morning, she was told neither Vrabel nor Elliott Wolf had spoken to Belichick about this latest drama. But went on to say that it is Michael Lombardi, the UNC general manager, and Belichick that told the athletic department, no Patriots allowed on campus. So, it continues. Now, if you're a player for Belichick, ultimately there's still 31 other teams that can come scout you, right? So, you're going to be noticed if you're good. But, I would want every possible scout there watching me.
I don't know how,
no Patriot scouts allowed.
I got a hard time convincing if my child was being recruited by Bill Belichick right now and other college coaches, I got a hard time believing this guy is truly all about the best interest of North Carolina and the football program, and not just about I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Right.
Consequences be damned. I don't care about results. I'm Bill freaking Belichick, and I'm going to make these decisions unilaterally and do whatever the hell I want. And I don't care if it negatively impacts my players or anyone else, because this in no way serves your players. In no way. This is a selfish, all about me. I'm mad. I'm pissed off. Yeah, I struggled a little bit.
They don't welcome us.
But I'm a legend. And
I can't go there.
I got fired, so they're not going to be able to come back here. Somebody, and there's no one that's talking any sense into Bill Belichick, obviously, about a lot of things right now.
Well,
but somebody's going to stop and be like, this is not helping you out. Maybe Jordan can come in and say, Bill, I've been talking to some of the players, and they don't like this, all right? I was hanging out with the players at a party on Saturday night after the game, after the win over Charlotte, and the players are telling me they want to be recruited by, or at least scouted by, the Patriots also.
This means that
something needs to happen here, and it doesn't need to be him being this petty.
The beef at the Brady roast was more intense than we expected, or what we thought. The dynamic between both he and Kraft. Man, what a celebration in the press box up in the coaches area for the
boy. This
upset.
is a tough beat for Florida coaches. I'm just watching that. I'm like, you were talking about the march of death after a game like that when you're having to march past this celebration.
Yeah, the coaches for Florida exiting the press box, exiting the coaches' booth, having to walk past the Bulls coaches after the upset and facing defeat this past Saturday to play us out. Here's the celebration.
The Bulls
at the Swamp.